Well, good evening. Welcome to KUTV Primetime News this 24th of August. Our Supreme Court continues with the petitions that have been filed against President-elect William Ruto's win. But before that, let's get to the highlights. Autopsy rules out foul play in IEBC's Gachagua returning officer Geoffrey Gitabu. Finnish and Kenyan government holds a full-day educational conference in Mombasa County. Governors are set to take oath of office tomorrow across the country. And the Ministry of Health and authorities in Nakuru differ over swine flu outbreak. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Bintura Komboka and I'm in the company of Velma Akenyi. On to education matters, the Ministry of Education is holding a full-day international conference meeting in Mombasa County starting today with the government of Finland for benchmark of education policies, which will see Kenya benefit from enhanced educational standards. The conference has attracted 5 state departments and other stakeholders in the education sector.
Ministry of Education, in conjunction with Finland government, has opened a 4-day international conference meeting on enhancing education in Kenya. In a meeting attended by Chief Administrative Secretary for Education, Dr. Sarah Ruto, has emphasized the need to align the curriculum at all levels to international best practices in the educational system.
Now that we are going into CBC, there are other rooms that are also important. Like, for example, we want to introduce children to an array of pre-technical, career studies and pre-technical. So a room in which these learning can happen is important for all schools to identify.
The CAS has, however, urged parents not to worry on transition of pupils to junior secondary school under CBC, as the Ministry of Education has put in place measures and policies to foresee a smooth and seamless transition.
And we've been cooperating with Kenyan counties in terms of bringing higher educated students to Finland to study nursing and risk management and physiotherapy and so forth, also at the vocational level. So I think this is why we are here, to enhance our cooperation and tell the story of Finland.
On the other hand, Finnish Max Global representative to Kenya, Karita Proki, has called upon education stakeholders to change their teaching approach, among them embracing digital education from childhood and setting pilot programs to bring the desired change.
We are here to notify Kenyans that opportunities are here and the Finnish people are very friendly and willing to support Kenyans who are thirsty for more education.
Principal Secretary, State Department of University Education and Research, Simon Nabukwesi, lauded the partnership, saying Kenya will borrow the best of their practices in education system.
As a school, we have...
The partnership comes at a time when the country is in the process of transition of pupils to a junior secondary school in January next year. Patrick Odwor, KUTV.
And now on to the corridors of justice. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has presented all the statutory forms in the August 9th presidential elections at the Supreme Court today ahead of status conference. The Form 34As, 34Bs and 34Cs, which were used to declare the winner of the August 9th polls, will will be used as evidence in the case challenging President William Ruto's win by Azimio La Umoja team and 8 other petitions. It is a legal requirement for the Commission to produce the documents 48 hours after the filing of the petition. Supreme Court is expected to hear the 9 petitions filed on Monday and give a verdict by 5th of September. And the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has dismissed remarks by Azimio La Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga, calling on the Commission's chair Wafula Chebukati to rescue himself from conducting Mombasa and Kakamega governor elections slated for Monday, August 29th. In a statement today, the IEBC clarified that Chebukati was not constitutionally mandated to conduct the elections, but rather the county returning officers in the aforementioned regions. Odinga is at loggerheads with Chebukati, whom he has accused of bungling the August 9th presidential election, in which he declared Deputy President William Ruto winner. Odinga insists he was robbed of his victory and has since filed a petition at the Supreme Court, where 8 other cases were filed seeking to nullify Ruto's win. And an autopsy conducted on the body of the late Gishugu returning officer Geoffrey Gitobu has ruled out foul play in his sudden death that occurred in Nanyuki Laikipia constituency. According to the Government, Family and Independent Medical Legal Unit pathologist who conducted the autopsy at the Nanyuki Cottage morgue yesterday, Gitobu died of pulmonary embolism, a condition that causes blood to clot within the pulmonary glands that leads to lack of enough oxygen. As a result of the autopsy outcome, Laikipia County Criminal Investigation Officer Onesmus Stewart has urged the public to cease spreading false information on the cause of Geoffrey Gitobu's cause of death. And now special preparations are underway at Kenyatta Sports Stadium in Machakos County to formally usher the first female governor of Machakos County, Honorable Wavinya Ndeti, who clinched the gubernatorial seat from her predecessor Alfred Mutua. Governors from all counties are expected to governors except from counties of Mombasa and Kakamega, where election was postponed, are expected to be sworn in tomorrow to assume their respective position as the Constitution mandates.
Machakos County will for the first time be under a new leadership of a woman since the devolved government was inaugurated. Wavinya Ndeti is expected to be sworn in officially at the Kenyatta Sports Stadium in Machakos, where many preparations for the event are being done in a swift process.
All preparations are ready and we are ready to go. The committee has been working day and night to ensure the celebrations and the transition continue very well. And I'm happy to report that so far so good, and we are ready to receive all visitors, and we are already then transitioning in the new government.
The gubernatorial race in the just concluded August 9th election saw many new faces being elected, as most of the former governors had already served 2 terms, which is the constitutional threshold for this office. Out of the 45 gubernatorial races concluded, 31 are newly elected members, 8 have retained their seats, while 6 have made a comeback after losing the seats in the 2013 general election. With the counties of Kakamega and Mombasa waiting to elect their governors, the devolved government, which was inaugurated in 2013 after the constitutional amendments in 2010, the office has been made very important in the land of Kenya. Stephanie Alice reporting for KUTV.
And still on the same matter, Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua is among the over 4,000 guests expected to grace tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony of Mutahi Kahiga as Nyeri's fifth governor, according to the Assumption of Office Committee Chairman Benjamin Gichio, said that the committee had set aside 5 million shillings for the ceremony. Nyeri has had 5 governors now in a span of 3 terms. This was following the death of Governors Nderitu Gachagua and Wahome Gakuru, who was succeeded immediately after their death in office.
The arrangements have been done. This team has a specific role. We have a huge checklist of all the things we have done. You can see the venue. We have invited representatives from all the parts of the county so that the county is well represented everywhere. We have hired buses for them. We shall transport them, take them back. If you look at the sitting arrangements, we have officially invited about 4,000 people. Although this is a public event, so people might come 5,000, 10,000, we don't know.
And former ambassador of Kenya to Korea, Ambassador Ngovi Gitau, has commended the media for fair and balanced coverage. Ngovi has called on journalists to continue giving their public facts that will enable them inform their opinions, warning against inciting violence through hate speech and propaganda. He, however, asked the country to embrace a smooth transition in the just concluded August polls.
It is Ambassador Ngovi Gitau. I am the first Kenyan ambassador to the Republic of Korea. The elections, in terms of coverage, I think the media did very, very, very well because they kept everybody involved and they kept us updated on what's going on. Do not incite violence. Do not give wrong information. Do not get involved in disinformation or propaganda or misinformation. Give people the facts and let them form their opinion. Don't give them your opinion.
Elsewhere, Kimilili Member of Parliament Dismas Baraza has pleaded not guilty in the alleged murder of Brian Kayemba's AD Brian Olunga on 8th of August at a polling station in Kimilili. Appearing before the magistrate at Bungoma Law Courts today, Baraza was released on a 10 million shillings bond and a surety of 5 million shillings with condition he surrenders his gun and ceases from visiting Kimilili constituency. And with that story, we come to a break here at KUTV Prime Time News. Remember to follow us on our social media pages at KUTV_Kenya. Don't go too far.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020-359-9054.
Giving a business an identity through the use of technology is our topic of today's episode.
I'll talk for Develop For Me. We take your problem personally. For example, if you have a marketing issue, we make sure that you make sales.
One of the services that we offer is the payment integration. We also have the apps and website business. And then is the corporate branding, where Nick is one of the best designers we have in the company. He uses a lot of tools to do it.
the percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGPO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGPO. 30%. So if let's assume, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGPO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with Benturo Kumbuka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
Welcome back. This is KUTV Prime Time News. And the Kenya Film Classification Board has resolved to redefine their role of film agents in Kenya with a view of confining the agents to providing international standard services to foreign and television producers. Addressing the media in Nairobi, the board acting CEO Christopher Wambua has said that public notice has been published on the KFCB website to sensitize the industry on the proposed changes, to invite stakeholders and members of the public to provide input and comments on the same.
The board, as today, 23rd August 2022, published a public notice in a publication on redefining the role of the film agent. The said notice is meant to sensitize the industry on the proposed changes and to invite stakeholders and members of the public to submit their input and comments. The public consultation documents have been uploaded onto the KFCB website for reference.
And the Ministry of Health and Health Authorities in Nakuru County have deferred over the announcement of the swine flu outbreak in the county. Nakuru Chief Officer of Public Health Service, Dr. Daniel Wanaina, had on Monday announced that the county had a confirmed outbreak of the swine flu in Elementaita Ward. The Acting Director General of Health, Dr. Patrick Amuth, however, stated that none of the samples taken to the influenza reference laboratory turned positive for swine flu and faulted the county for making the announcement without involving the ministry. Maya Kuloba, alias Makabichi, is now a contented man and a member of County Assembly after winning the MCA Township Ward race in Bungama County in the just concluded 2022 elections. Kuloba now narrates his journey in the political arena in the following report.
Jeremiah Kuloba, who is the MCA-elect in Township Ward, Bungoma County, could not hide his joy after winning the member of County Assembly seat in a tight race with his competitors. Kuloba garnered 2,506 votes, slightly beating his competitor, who lost with 2,139 votes. Narrating his political journey, Kuloba started his quest for the seat from 2007 general election under the ODM party and left subsequently in 2013 general elections, contested under the TNA party and failed to secure himself into the county assembly membership position.
Kafika mwaka wa 2007 wanasoko wakaniambia nijaribu kuingia katika siasa kwa sababu wale watu waliokuwa huko walikuwa hawawatetei hawa watu wa chini. Sikufaulu.
Makabeji, as he is commonly referred to, says that he was accorded the nickname by the people as a symbol of a low-ranked member of the society.
Ukaja mwaka wa 2013 nikasukumwa tena niingie. Hata mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa na huo msukumo, nikasema nilijaribu, nikaingia tena nikaja nikapoteza na kura 57 katika chama cha TNA, na wakati huo pia sikuweza tena kwenda kukata rufaa eti nimepoteza nafasi hiyo.
The constituents have, however, aired their expectations, especially on improving the standards of the wards market, especially in the hygiene sector.
Angalau yeye kama ameingia hapo ataweza kutushimbia maji ikikuwa kwa soko hapo hivyo, at least kutakuwa na hiyo hygiene. Wamama wa samaki hawana hata mahali pa kutengeneza samaki yao, unapata wanatengeneza tu samaki hivyo hivyo tu, uchafu iko mingi. Lakini kama angalau kiongozi tumepata wetu, alianza kusikiliza maono yetu na ataweza kufanya vile vitu tunataka.
Tumeumia sana watu wa soko kubwa. Sasa tuliamua wamama na wapapa tumchakue Makabichi ili anaweza kuokoa maisha yetu, sababu anajua vile tumeteseka pamoja na yetu na nyeshoa na mvua.
The MCA position is the lowest ranked in the political structure of the country and the most instrumental position in adding service delivery to the people in the devolved functions of the county governments. Nyambura Kabura, KUTV.
Well, thank you, Nyambura, for that report. And Kisii County has had inclusion among counties benefiting from an electronic government farm input subsidy program. Area farmers will now be able to access the inputs such as fertilizer and agrochemicals from an online purchase system, e-voucher, through their cell phones at the cost of 60%, while the government foots the remaining 40%. Our reporter Joseph Oyombo with that report from Kisii County.
Farmers in Kisii now have every reason to smile after the government considered the county for farm input subsidy program. Launched by Dr. Francis Owino, the acting permanent secretary in the State Department of Crop Development and Agricultural Research National Value Chain Support Program. The scheme is a timely intervention for optimum agricultural production in the county, offering accrued benefits of fertilizers, agrochemicals, and herbicides to the farmers.
I would like from the onset to commend the program for implementing activities, initiatives, and interventions to avail the much needed agricultural inputs to drive and promote agricultural production by our farmers across the nation. An availability of quality and affordable inputs such as seeds, fertilizer, and agrochemicals has remained a major challenge to our agricultural production.
According to the public secretary, the first phase of the program was started with 12 counties farming English potatoes, rice, and coffee production, before expanding to 25 counties, including the county of Kisii. Speaking in Namachi sub-county, the public secretary challenged the farmers to embrace the technology for enhanced crop production, expressing confidence of further increase in yields. Kisii County Member of Executive in charge of Agriculture Docket, Esman Onsarigo, on his side, assured the farmers that the government has identified markets for their produce and has as well dealt with unscrupulous agrochemicals dealers selling counterfeit products. This move comes amid global price complication on inputs influenced by, among other factors, the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war.
Kama tumeshikiliwa na serikali kidogo, tujaribu tufanye production yetu iende juu, kwa sababu soko iko. Maneno ya uongo, especially kuna wale agrodealers wale tulifukuza, unakumbuka ile vita tulipigana. I want to warn, Kisii County government is not going to sleep again. Ndio wale agrodealers wakora warudi tena. Wale walikuwa na mshia mkulima mchanga wanawadanganya ni fertilizer.
Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Asanteni sana.
And on to sports matter, the fate of Football Kenya Federation, which is set to kick off on 10th of September, hangs on the balance following a ruling by the Sports Dispute Committee, which rendered the just concluded 2021-2022 season null and void. In its ruling, the Sports Dispute Tribunal found the FKF Transition Committee to run the league illegally, ignoring the already existing FKF constituted bodies and forming its own to settle disputes involving teams in the leagues. This has cast doubt over the start of the new FKF season under the Transition Committee, whose tenure was extended by 2 months. And Emerson Palmieri has penned down a 4-year contract with an option of a further year on extension with West Ham United from Chelsea. The 28-year-old left-back struggled to break into the Chelsea team in 5 years at Stamford Bridge and spent last season on loan at Lyon. Emerson, who has featured 27 times for Italy national team, becomes David Moyes' 7th signing since the end of the season. Well, with that story, we come to the end of our bulletin. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on board. I'm Bintura Kumbuka, and our sign language interpreter for today has been Velma Okinye. Good night.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such